Hi and happy Saturday. I wanted to record a bonus Q&A because it's about the heat. And today when I'm recording it is May 14th. It's actually my parents' 45th wedding anniversary. They are just the cutest couple and I'm really excited for them. They're in Istanbul. I hope to be them. So it's May 14th and here in Los Angeles, it's definitely getting warmer. I just got back from a hike. It's a warm day. And this question was about how to handle that anticipation about the heat and maybe feeling overstimulated, feeling uncomfortable, feeling panicky. So I thought it was really timely as the summer is approaching. So I'm going to read the full question. Hi, what was it like when you first started changing your approach to anxiety, especially in regards to overstimulation? It's getting warmer and warmer where I live, and I can feel my mind monitoring and tending in preparation for panic attacks resulting from the heat, even though I don't even feel that overstimulated. And I think I heard a lot of insights there already where recognizing that it's actually not the heat that's causing the panic, the overstimulation, and the anxiety. It's your thoughts about it. Because even before you're starting to get overheated or you're starting to feel hot, there can be some anxiety. What if I panic? What am I going to do? And I'm not saying that the heat is not uncomfortable. But what I'm pointing to and what I'm hearing from there is we don't have to plan for it. We don't have to figure out what am I going to do if I get hot? Even what if I'm going to do if I have a panic attack? And also, so it's one that tending, that monitoring, that anticipation is one, unnecessary, and two, unhelpful, because we're in our heads. And our brains are really great. So when I talk about our heads, our brain's super great for logic and getting through school. But we have something in us that is so much more powerful than our brain. Our wisdom. The wisdom that grew me, grew all of you. This plant. The wisdom that's turned some flowers toward the sun. The wisdom that grew my two beautiful babies and healed my body. That heals bones. That is responsible for zebras, weather, tides. I could go on and on about this wisdom. And this wisdom, this greater intelligence, wisdom and common sense, it is always available for us. It is so much more powerful than our brain. Our brain's like this computer. It's like thinking, what if? And so we don't have to prepare because we have this wisdom and common sense that is going to be available to us at the precise moment we need it. So if it's getting warmer and warmer, and you're starting to notice that you are uncomfortable, you will handle it then. Future you will know what to do at that precise moment. And, and also there's this greater intelligence that you don't even need to think about it. I bet I'd be curious if after this video, if you want to pause it now, think of a situation when something has happened, whether it's about you or you're a family member or a child, and you didn't even think about it. You just jumped into action. I can think of a few. And actually one's about heat. And I think I just drank too much water and everything was not balanced. It was about 5.5 years ago. My son was 2, still nursing and carrying. He was a giant baby. I still wore him on one of those, I can't remember their name, carriers, walking all over the San Diego Zoo. We'd had a really busy day. And I just honestly started to feel like I was going to black out. I should have asked to take a break, but I didn't. And then it was like a dark curtain came over my eyes, but I didn't think about it. I was somehow guided somehow, this innate well-being, wisdom, greater intelligence, common sense, found my way with my sister and my kids. And I laid down on a bench and I ended up being fine. Well, I ended up having to be driven out, wheeled in a wheelchair and then driven out. But I wasn't panicky about it. Another time I almost chopped my finger off with one of those hand blenders, and I was by myself in my home and I just held my finger and walked outside, and I stopped a woman who was going to my neighbor's house. I never saw her again, but I was like, I think I chopped my finger off and I'm really scared. Can you come in and help me? I didn't think about that. I didn't even need my brain. There was a greater intelligence. That's that intelligence that you don't think about it. Reach out and grab your child. And that is available to us, and so that anticipation, because there's also so many factors that are there. The shade, the heat, who's near us, what drinks are available. And also, this is, we're talking about the heat. Um, there's just so many interesting things that I feel like I could bring up, but we're also talking about panic attacks and that same thing. When I truly, because the beginning of the question was, how did my approach to anxiety change? And a lot of it was I realized there was a lot less for me to do, and that my doing was not helping. It was keeping me agitated, kind of keeping me shaken up like a snow globe, keeping me with a lot of noise in my head. I think I've said this before in other videos, but I love how Michael Neal talks about the universal diagnosis: too much noise in head. And that universal medicine, letting go, a little bit of silence. So thinking, that tending, that monitoring, that's a lot of noise. How am I doing? Am I hot? What am I going to do? Are other people as hot as me? I also think of Amy Johnson and like using that analogy of those plastic wind up teeth. That's our brain. It's always monitoring, and it's also always sharing its opinion and analyzing. And I know one story that I had that wasn't really helpful was other people can handle the heat more than me. And so I felt this like shame and judgment, and I think it stopped me from taking care of myself. And also I think it added on a lot of noise, so then I was overstimulated by the heat. And I think our level of consciousness, our mood, our state of mind can impact our overstimulation, how well we can handle the heat. I am a more sensitive person to some things: noise, smell, bright lights. But when my level of consciousness, my mood is high, I'm better able to handle. I might still get uncomfortable, but I know I can ride that wave, whether it's like fluorescent lights. Even I was just out to lunch, and I don't go out to eat that much. But we hiked and I was hungry, but my level of consciousness was pretty high, even though I was like, I'm really hungry. And it was really loud. But I was able to tolerate it. I was like, oh, this is kind of unpleasant. And it would come and it would go. Because that's another exciting thing. We're just a thought away. But so in terms of our level of consciousness, our like that can impact our tolerance, and just understanding that and knowing, I kind of lost my train of thought here, but I guess what I was talking about was that judgment of the story. That's just a story. Also, it's fine if I might need a little bit more shade. And I guess I also I think what changed for me was it wasn't like, oh, now I was going to be overstimulated and then it's just done for the day. Because I saw how more fluid thoughts were, how more fluid feelings were, and experience. And I didn't then add on to it with my thinking, like, oh, here you are again, so different, so messed up, like you just can't even handle everything. Like I just added on. And how I approach the heat now is different. I think I just enjoy life more. I know again and again that I have this greater intelligence, this wisdom. I have less judgment of me, of others. I feel less separate. I feel more okay that, all right, I might want to move into the shade. I might not enjoy being in the sun as long. But I guess I just even have less of a story around it. I feel less like, oh, I'm broken and I'm different. And also, it's not 100%. I'm not saying, oh, I do it all perfectly. But if I didn't already mention this, a huge thing that changed for me about the panic, I think I was saying that, was I realized there was a lot less for me to do. And I saw my wisdom, how it got me through every panic attack. And my wisdom got me through every really hot and uncomfortable moment. Yesterday I was hiking again, and I didn't realize how warm it was getting in LA. So I wore a long sleeve shirt and like long pants and high socks and hiking boots. And as I was starting out, my brain was like, I do not think so. I do not. You're too hot, you're too tired. And I'm no longer, one, I don't take it so seriously, but I'm also like, okay. So I was like thinking, like, well, maybe I'd say to my friends, like, you go on. But I don't know, then that thought flowed and I stayed and I had a great hike. Like I was able to tolerate being a little bit uncomfortable. And today I made note and I wore shorts and a tank top for the hike. So I hope some of that resonates. Let me see if there was anything else. I took a few little notes. Um, so I guess my takeaway would be that you have this greater intelligence, this common sense note, when you can see without judgment, oh, there I am monitoring. I don't even need to monitor, you know, because your greater intelligence is like, I've got you. Just like that example that I shared about being in the San Diego Zoo. Like, yeah, I guess I could have like caught it earlier, but it was also fine. I guided myself. Um, and also, when we are like not in that emergency where we're like monitoring or tending or worrying, like what if, we are more creative. We have, because if it's an emergency, like we don't need our creativity. So being calm benefits us so much because then, like these creative solutions, whether it's you see somewhere for shade or to cool off, like, oh my God, I forgot there was this pool, or okay, hey, can we go to that restaurant that has the little water spurts? Um, or whatever idea, there's infinite possibilities. So when we are like, when we don't have to tend, we don't have to prepare, we know we don't even have to anticipate, because our wisdom, we're going to all these infinite possibilities that might help us stay comfortable, stay hydrated, stay cool, and enjoy our beautiful life and the warmer weather. So I hope this was helpful. Happy summer days.